Hello everyone, it's River here. Today, I'd like to share some tips that I've been using to reduce Excel file size. Why do we want to reduce Excel file size? We constantly hear complaints that Excel crashes too often or we don't have enough shared drive storage to keep our files. And by reducing Excel file size, we can actually solve some of that issue. So let's get on to it. The first tip I'm going to share would be remove redundant format or data. Second would be remove hidden defined names. Third one would be save the file as xlsb. This is my ultimate favorite tip. Alright, so one day I received one email sending over with one Excel file that's 32 megabyte. I get really nervous when seeing such a large file flying around because this file took me 1 hour to open and about 1 hour to save anytime I make any changes. I basically created this dummy file by removing the real data from the file but kept the redundancy in here so I can show you what these things can do. So let's take a look at this file first. This file has basically nothing in there, but it's 8 megabyte. As we scroll through, you can see how it looks like. Nothing in here because I deleted all the data. But what's that 8 megabyte? So first step, we always want to see when we try to figure out why the file is so big, is to see if there's anything hidden. Sure enough, we have a tab that's hidden in there, but it appears to be the same thing because I made the same thing. But another thing then we can try to check would be apparently there has been a lot of formatting done on this file as we were trying to show these nice little table without showing the grid lines. Because if I do like a no fill, I can see, hey, okay, basically my entire row from here to my end of the Excel is filled with white color. And that's information all stored in Excel. That's gonna take up space. What we can do, we can take out the fill. See, now I have all these nice little grid line. We can still hide this grid line if you want. Just go to view, click uncheck this grid lines. Boom, your grid lines will be gone. You would never need to really fill in white to hide those grid lines. But does this solve our issue? I can tell it does not. What's really happening is within these rows behind here, it looks like blank, but there's something hidden there. I still don't know. What I did is hit delete on these rows. Hit save. If I go check the info, it's 5 megabyte now. So by deleting those rows, I took away roughly 3.5 meg. Let's try this on the other tab as well. No fill. Check off grid line. Again, these two steps probably won't really save much space. But if I do another alternative, go back to home, clear format, save. I'm at 1.4, 1.5. So basically by removing the format, I took away the 3 megabyte minimum from this file. So essentially, that's the redundant formatting I'm talking about. I don't know what formatting is really in here. The safer way to do this is to the second way I showed, clear format. Or if you are sure about what's really in the file, it's your file, you know nothing, no data is in there, you can delete rows like what I did in the first time. Okay, so that's the first tip. Remove redundant format or data. Now get on to the second, is to remove hidden defined names. That's my dummy file number 2. This file basically only has my text here, nothing else. But if I check file size, this thing is 6 megabyte. So what's wrong with it? I can tell you there's no redundant formatting because I've already removed all of them. But what's still hidden is quite interesting. If you go to formulas, check out name manager, boom, look at these. We actually have, I don't know how much this is. We have English, we have some Korean, we have some Japanese down here. So essentially this Excel file has had some long history around the globe, and all these names has been stored in here and they are taking up space. So what I do, I select all of them, hit delete. As you can see, there's a lot because it takes some time to delete. My Excel is gonna be frozen. Let's see. I really need to be patient, but that's where these things are crashing our Excel. And hit save. And check again. All right, we are at 279 KB. That's about the right size for a blank Excel file. Okay, that's tip number 2. You might run into that as well. Now get on to tip number 3, would be save file as xlsb. That's essentially one Excel format, but it's a binary file, binary format. It does not remove any of the information you are using, like your format or your formula or any connections. They will all be in there. But by saving as this format, you can probably save half of the size of that file. I'm gonna go back to this dummy file first. I'll try to see. Oh. Okay, I'm back to my first dummy file and I recovered it to the original size, 8 megabyte, as we can see. So I basically reverted all the format removal I did in the first step. Then simply what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save this file as, instead of Excel workbook, just select this Excel binary workbook, the third option on the drop down, click save, and let's see, we are at 5.6. So by doing so, I took away roughly 3 megabyte, 40% of the size. So this can be done essentially if you really have a large data Excel file that you don't have redundant formatting, you tried everything else, you removed the repeated formulas or whatsoever. This can be your last resort to shrink the file, and you won't really lose anything. You won't lose any performance either. And you can usually take away like a 30 to 50%, sometimes even larger amount of the file size. All right, so that's my 3 tips for today. remove redundancy, remove hidden defined names, and the save file as binary format. Hope you find this helpful. And if you have any feedback or you want to play with my dummy file, just shoot an email to me and we can chat. Thank you.